Hello everyone and welcome to the SDV 298 Place Portfolio Development course. My name is Ashley Poptanich and I will be your instructor for this class. Thank you for being a part of this class, and I look forward to working and learning with you over the next 12 weeks. I hope that through the process of developing your portfolios, you gain insight into yourselves as learners and a greater appreciation for the learning you have obtained through your life experiences. This introductory presentation is designed to give you an overview of the PLACE program and this course, SDV 298, start you thinking about your learning, and also get you started on your first assignment, the chronological record. The SDV 298 PLACE course has been offered at Nova since 1987, so quite a while it's been around. This course is unique as a method for assessing prior learning because it is a learning process as well as a means of demonstrating learning. By that, I mean that in the process of creating a portfolio, you are learning about yourselves beyond just documenting what you already know. You will be reflecting on your experiences and evaluating the learning you have obtained throughout your lives to determine if it is college level. That part is key. We're looking, evaluating, reflecting on all that learning to find the learning that is college level. Some of the outcomes hoped for in this process are that the college level learning you have gained throughout your lives will be validated. You will view yourself as an accomplished learner, and you will complete a professional portfolio demonstrating your competencies that you can share with employers, your family, whoever you would like. There are different ways to develop credit for prior learning portfolios. The PLACE portfolios at Nova are set up in a course match type style. This means that you will be choosing a course in your program and then demonstrating your learning of that course based on its course content summary. The learning you explain will be very specific to the course you are challenging. If you already know which courses you are going to challenge, that's great. If you don't worry, because in the next few weeks we'll be reviewing your programs to choose a course to challenge. So we'll be covering that as well. This course is all about you and your learning. You are the content experts. The exercises involved in creating your portfolio are designed to help you evaluate your experiences and learning to become more aware of how you learn, what you already know, and how to demonstrate your learning. Creating a portfolio is an extremely rewarding process, but it is also very challenging. So I just want to prepare you for that ahead of time. There is a lot of writing involved. There is a lot of reflection and self-evaluation, introspection, just a lot of looking at everything that you've done, remembering, reflecting on all those experiences. And then when you're explaining your learning, that is a different way of thinking about how you've done things. What you've learned is different than thinking about just what you've done. So this is a very challenging experience. So just dig in and prepare and trust the process, because at the end it is extremely rewarding. And the portfolio that you create, I can guarantee, will be amazing. So on the screen are some questions to start you thinking about and reflecting on your learning. Take some time to read over these and try to answer them. Some of these questions may seem simple, but it starts the process of looking not just at what we do, but also at what and how we are learning. Earning credit for your portfolio will be determined by how well you can demonstrate that you have learned the competencies required for a specific course. So look at a few of those real quickly. You might want to take some time, jot a few of them down. The first one, just a very simple, what did I learn today? Think back on your day. What did you learn? What did you not know before that you now know? What was the process of that learning? Did someone teach you? Did you research? How did you know that you had learned it? The next one, what does it mean to learn something? How do you know when you've learned something? And that's a question that'll be in the, if you haven't already answered it, that'll be in the discussion board. How do you prefer to learn? Working with others, individually? Everybody has a preferred learning style. So take some time to look over those. Okay. On this slide, you can see the 8 different components of the ePortfolio. We will go over each of these in more detail throughout the course, but just here real quickly, we'll do a brief overview. Numbers 1 and 2 in blue, the introduction and the cover letter, will be the first step for the faculty evaluator, the request for challenging a specific course. Numbers 3 and 4, the chronological record and the life history paper, are where you will really start reflecting on the events of your life and looking at the learning you have gained over time. The chronological record is an outline of the main events of your life, and you will further reflect on and expand on these events in the life history paper. Number 5, there in red, the goals paper, shifts gears from reflecting on the past to planning for the future, and in it you will write short and long-term goals. And then the last 3 sections in purple, numbers 6, 7, and 8, the course content summary, the narrative of competencies, and documentation, are where you will focus in on the course you are challenging to explain your learning in that area. Okay, so to help keep you on schedule when creating your portfolio, we have set up some guidelines to follow. You will want to thoroughly review the syllabus and print it out. This is important. This assignment schedule here is located in your syllabus. Go ahead and print that out, and you can keep track of everything from week to week. It's divided out to make sure that you're completing those course activities, the weekly activities, the discussion questions, and the different assignments from week to week. And it also has the due dates on there, so it's very easy to follow. And it's nice too to kind of check the week off once you're finished with it, that sense of accomplishment, and it keeps you on track. Now each of the main assignments for the portfolio that we just looked at has an accompanying rubric. So this rubric is located in the assignments section in Blackboard. Use this rubric as your guide. It gives you details about the requirements for the different assignments, and that's what I'll be using to review your assignments and provide feedback. So you do want to check those rubrics against your work, use them to kind of guide you as you go. The portfolio is a fluid document, and throughout the semester, some components, especially the narrative of competencies, may require multiple revisions and edits. That's completely okay. As you receive feedback or remember additional events in your lives, you will want to go back and update your portfolio as needed. So throughout the process, most likely you'll remember things that you didn't think of when, for instance, you were creating your chronological record. Even though you might be working on your goals paper, it's perfectly fine to go back and update that chronological record. You want to make sure that everything is in there that's relevant, that helps tell your story and your learning story. Okay, so your ePortfolios will be created using Google Sites, which can be accessed through your student email accounts. You will be creating your portfolio from a template, but you do have freedom to change some details such as the background design to make it your own. Depending on how tech savvy you are, that's not a requirement, but if you'd like to change it around a bit, that's completely fine. On your screen you can see a sample ePortfolio, John's student's ePortfolio. This is available to you as a reference to give you an idea of what a complete portfolio could look like. We will be referencing it often in this course, and I encourage you to read it. Keep in mind, though, that this is not a perfect portfolio. especially the narrative of competencies, which needs much more detail and much more explanation of learning processes. But this kind of gives you an idea, especially with some of the papers, the goals paper, life history paper, chronological record, of what it would look like. So it can kind of be worked as a guide. The documentation section is also great to see too, to see how the documentation is organized. So the link is located in the course site, so just be sure to use that. Okay, so the first assignment, the chronological record. As mentioned before, this is a year-by-year account of the main events in your life since high school. This can be used as the outline for your life history paper. As you can see on the screen, some of the events you may include are travel, employment and promotions, training, seminars, workshops, major life events such as marriage, birth of a child, relocations, etc. Remember that in your ePortfolio, you're telling your life story, so it will include professional information. It will also include personal information, experiences with education, so all of that. So just make sure that you include, you want to have those main events. And if you don't feel comfortable putting something in there, it's perfectly fine to omit that as well. But you do want to make sure that it's complete. You're telling your story. So what story do you want to tell? Include those main events in there. Okay, and this is just a sample, a very small sample of what a chronological record looks like. So as you can see, the first entry with the chronological record, you're putting short phrases in there, and each phrase needs to start with an action verb, and it needs to include the city and the state location. So if you look through those, the very first one, graduated, then moved, then employed, promoted, all action verbs. They all start with those action verbs, and then if you go to the end of those phrases, it gives the city and the state location for each event, for each main event throughout the beginning of, or since high school for this person's life. So this is kind of a good sampling of what it will look like. You'll be doing this going through each year. This is developing your outline for your life history paper. By the time you're done with this, you'll have those main events, maybe remember some of those main events, as well as have them organized so that it makes it a lot easier to jump into writing that life history paper. You can also view John's student's example, which is great to see what a complete one will look like. Okay. Now to wrap up the welcome, just kind of a quick overview of what to do if you have questions. In the Blackboard site, there is a questions forum on the discussion board. Please feel free to post any questions, comments. If you notice something, post it in there, and use each other as resources here. So if you know the answer to someone's question, don't wait for me to respond. Go ahead and let them know the answer. Use each other as resources. My contact information is right there. I'm in the office usually from around 9 to 6 o'clock every day. So that's my work phone. You can also email me right there, apoptanich@nvcc.edu. Please feel free to reach out with any questions. And then during these first 2 weeks and later in the course as well, we'll be having individual phone conferences. So be on the lookout for an email from me in the next couple weeks to set up those appointments. All right, thank you guys for listening in. Looking forward to getting started, and please let me know any questions you have. All right, thanks a lot.